So power can be very dangerous. And when you're involved in a movement where the members of that movement seek to gain power, if we do not learn from the mistakes of our past, if those powers don't have checks and balances, then those same people who were once oppressed will inevitably make the same mistakes. And we often find that in our society, many of these women who have fought for equality, equal treatment, um, equal opportunities, and these women that have gained influence and power because of the achievements of these movements. A lot of these women are often just as toxic and oppressive and narcissistic and abusive as the men that they were seeking, the equality of. So we have to also realize that once we come into a place where this equality is distributed, then you begin to see that there is not a significant difference between men and women in a lot of political and uh, cultural or uh, social political aspects. Men want to be loved, women want to be loved. Men want to be appreciated, women want to be appreciated. Men want to be acknowledged, women want to be acknowledged. Men want pleasure, women want pleasure. Men want peace, women want peace. Men are violent, women are violent. Men are oppressive, women are oppressive. Men are hypocritical, women are hypocritical. Men are toxic, women are toxic. Men are educated, women are educated. Men are capable, women are capable. But when we look in politics, when we look in the music business, when we look in our education system, we see that many women are just as toxic and just as abusive and just as selfish and narcissistic as the men that they want to replace. So, how can you convince me that a matriarch is going to be more peaceful and reasonable and beneficial? I mean, didn't England have a matriarch at some point? Isn't there a queen over there? And don't get me started on English, British culture and attitudes. So, it's not, you can dismantle patriarchy if you want to, but you're going to have to replace it with something that is time tested and proven to be better than what already exists, And I don't think that replacing the leadership and the power structure with people solely based upon their genitalia is a very responsible way of governing humanity and society. I think we should dismantle all types of toxic and narcissistic and abusive and fascist and bigoted systems. I think that one of the most detrimental systems and policies that affect our society is white supremacy and Catholicism and Christianity. And I'm sorry if you feel bad, but if we're looking at it from an objective place, not from an emotionally, unstable place, not from an attachment, but from a detached sense of objectivity, using critical thinking and logic, especially, we can look at the historical footprint, the legacy of the Catholic Church, of the Christian Church, on society as a whole within this country, and the terrorism and the murder and the genocide and the rape and the child molestation and the xenophobia and the racism and the sexism and misogyny and the hypocrisy that has come from these institutions and that have been imposed on the world and that continue to be imposed on the world. The unchecked amount of power and privilege that they have is very unsafe and very unfair. If a regular human being is caught and proven to have sexually assaulted a child, they're going to jail. They're going to have to sign up on a registry. But these priests just get shuffled around. Different parts of the country, different parts of the world. It's swept under the rug. An apology here, a statement there, and we just forget about it. What? So yeah, there are a lot of institutions and a lot of organizations and a lot of political and cultural allegiances that are very toxic and harmful to society. But if you're just saying it's just men, you lost in the sauce. It's not just men. There are a lot of powerful women in this world and in this country that are extremely influential. So when we look at society and we look at the role of these wealthy, elitist, white women who create policy, okay, who dictate policy, who influence policy, economic, political, economic, societal policy and culture, then they have to be also held accountable for the conditions that we continue to live in. And we have to hold those women accountable for their support and their role and their roles in the promotion and the defense and the support of misogyny and sexism and tyranny and fascism and oppression, even against other women. And until you acknowledge that power and control and oppression and, those type of ideas and isms aren't monopolized by one gender or even one race. Well, no, white people do monopolize those things. White men monopolize those things. But when they're not just isolated to one gender or one race, when you see that there is a significant amount of women who continue this culture, it can't be denied.